So I did a little write-up about my favorite raids, but as I was recording it, I started to rethink my list, and I'm probably going to do some rewrites to it. But I also ended up writing this list of my favorite and least favorite day one raid experiences, as I have been around for every single one since the launch of Destiny, and because in addition to being asked about my favorite raids, I'm also asked about my favorite day one experiences a lot, so let's discuss. My least favorite day one experience may surprise you. I think it has to be either Garden or Spire of Stars. The reason Spire is down here was because up until I ended up actually beating it on the first day, it might have been the first raid that I was not going to get done in the first day at the time, and is the only raid that I did not get done with the team that I started the day with. We ended up tapping out after about 10 hours or something like that because people just had to bail. Despite that, the team that I beat Spires with, which had people who had already beat it, still got 11th place on it, like 12 hours later, which is a testament to how difficult Spire truly was on day one. Only 101 people cleared it on day one, according to raid.report. That being said, I did not remember leaving the day very happy at all because of that fact. Garden, my team got 14th place, which sounds pretty good, but my team and I were very stubborn on the final boss, which kept us there for like 8 hours or something insane like that. Our performance was not spectacular by any means, and we knew it pretty much immediately that we needed to change something up for the next time. Just a poor performance overall. Eater of Worlds is probably next up on the list because I just didn't really remember it being that memorable of an experience. This is the raid that an LFG team got world first. I barely remember anything about this day one experience at all, and I think when something is so not memorable, it should probably go pretty low on the list, even if it was a pretty neutral experience. Next is probably Vault of Glass 2 or Scourge of the Past. Vault was just another instance of poor performance from myself and the squad as a whole. It wasn't as bad as Garden because we were in Garden for much longer. We bashed our heads a little too hard against certain encounters, perhaps not taking it as seriously as we should have been, kind of slacking off. We ended up getting 25th place, I believe, which is the second worst placement I've ever had. But it was completely deserved based on how we played. Not a whole hell of a lot else to say about it. We just did not show up to play that day. Scourge on this list seems pretty random, and although we didn't really place that well, we got 20th, that was the least of the issues in my eyes. It was the first time that, well, I guess second time, but this was specific to the raid, that we had a pretty big issue, and that was the fact that sometimes the game didn't take your revive token away when you revived someone, meaning you got to revive way more than you were normally allowed. I don't know how much of an impact this really had on the results of the raid, but it didn't feel great at the time knowing that there was a bug of this magnitude during the World First race. Scourge also did not have contest mode, and people were able to level 2 and I assume past the level of the raid itself, making part of the raid race about how much you were able to grind beforehand. Finally, we had the issue of certain streamers getting targeted by DDoS attacks, which put another huge damper on the day as a whole. Next is probably King's Fall for me. King's Fall was going pretty well until my team face planted into the Oryx encounter, trying almost everything we could think of to progress the fight. It wasn't until much, much later, not Garden later or anything like that, but it was a lot later, that we tried standing in the bombs to make them explode, damaging Oryx. Something that, at the time, felt like it made no sense at all due to how Bungie usually designed raids and encounters. Typically, you would see mechanics used throughout a raid, but the bomb was brand new. Remember, this is 2015, and the last raid we saw was Cratas End. At the time, my team didn't think there was any sort of signal from the game that said standing in the thing that looks like a death zone is actually the right thing to do, which I remember being very frustrated by. In hindsight, we should have just tried messing with it more, and to this day, I will intentionally die to mechanics that I know are likely to kill me when learning new encounters, just in case they're more than meets the eye. Wrath of the Machine is next on the list because of an issue that plagued Scourge of the past, which was being able to level up too much. Wrath was destroyed in a couple of hours because there was little to no resistance from the combat parts of the raid because people were able to level past the level of the raid. If you were able to level a ton, you had a clear advantage over others, and I thought that part of the struggle of the day one experience should include having enemies be tough to kill because you are underleveled. Next up probably has to be Crown of Sorrow. You would think I'd be pretty stoked with a silver medal here, especially since the last time I placed in the top 2 was the original Vault of Glass, but it was the way we got it that really was a killer. After we had gotten so close with Last Wish, we killed Galron and we were all greeted by the raid exotic. The first people to beat a raid were all given the raid exotic, so naturally we thought we had won. Lo and behold, we lost by 6 minutes to another team, and I guess Bungie wasn't able to shut down that mechanism that gives the raid exotic to the entire team, because I think we started the fight as the world first team was in the middle of their kill, or something like that. This is the most devastated I've ever been. I have no shame in saying that I cried about it. If we didn't get the exotic, I would have been really happy with the result anyway. Second place is really, really good, and it showed we were still contenders, but it's the fact that we thought we got first place, only to be told that we didn't, that really killed me. You would think this would be the worst, but I take a lot of solace in the fact that we played incredibly well. Some of the best teamwork, the best gameplay, and the best day one strats that we've ever had. Deepstone Crypt is going to be next. We didn't do super well here, 12th place, but even though it was only like 4 to 5 hours, Atrax being what it was really threw us off our game. It felt like it was the first time we had seen a boss where the damage window is a couple of seconds, and yeah, it just took us a while to kind of get it together and come up with a plan of attack here. The rest of the raid was pretty easy for something that had contest mode on it, which kind of annoyed me because we had to wait a full year for this raid to release. It was the first raid since Garden of Salvation. I wanted it to be more of a challenge on day one. Leviathan was the first raid of Destiny 2. We placed 9th place. Leviathan for math class was actually really good. We had 4 teams in the top 30. I think Callus was the big challenge here due to how different it was compared to all of the other encounters and having to use double primary, something that people were still really getting used to. There was the unfortunate Wardcliff coil glitch where I believe people were able to get full power ammo by doing some swapping with Wardcliff. That might have just been for prestige mode. I can't actually remember if it was there for normal mode. Otherwise, this raid was sort of the benchmark for how things in D2 were going to go raid-wise, which it, seemed like they were going to go somewhat well. I didn't think there was a significant quality loss in the raid department, despite the rest of the game. Cratas End is in our number 3 spot. Funny enough, we got 3rd place here. The hype of another raid after how successful Vault of Glass was really got us going here. Not to mention our rivalry with Invigorate was fueling a lot of that excitement. Something that did put a damper on things was the fact that we felt like we needed to have someone be level 31 in order to deal enough damage to Crota to actually kill them on time. In retrospect, obviously not the case, but we were new back then. Leopard was our hero who was able to get up to level 31, and we went from me using the sword to Leopard, which did end up taking a lot of extra time. Still, this was a very, very exciting time for myself and math class. Vault of Glass original launch gets the number 2 slot, and this is purely because it was the first one. We had no idea what to expect with the raid. I was expecting a glorified strike due to what the rest of the game was looking like. I had almost no faith in Bungie to put out something that would rival my MMO background in the slightest. And for their first raid, It wasn't too shabby, far beyond expectations for myself and probably most of the community. My clan ended up with 1st place, 2nd place, and 5th place, although unfortunately I was not on that 1st place team. It is one of the few times I truly got to enjoy the day 1 experience. Finally, despite it ending in heartbreak, Last Wish is still at the top of my list. 24 hours and 2 minutes straight in the raid. Couple of bathroom breaks, maybe a short dinner break, I don't even remember. But I told my team that we were not leaving that raid until we had mission complete. And despite the result, I was proud of my team for toughing it out for the full 24. 10 days of prep time, so much leveling, and people were still short 10, 15, 20, 25 levels during Riven. I remember this raid so vividly. The Heartbreak, Ascendant Realm platforming wipes, the res timer running out after we had killed Riven, the complete descent into lunacy at 3 in the morning, placing ourselves in Destiny meme history. Even though it didn't turn out for the best, I really don't know how you top this. I'm very much looking forward to the Witch Queen raid. I think Bungie has a banger in store for us. But I will say that I have not really enjoyed the raid race probably since Last Wish, maybe Crown of Sorrow. It usually ends up being more stressful than fun at this point because the only acceptable result for me anyway is a W, and the pressure to win just kind of keeps compounding. I enjoy the day 1 experience very much, but the race portion tends to suck away a lot of the fun nowadays. Obviously, I'm still going to keep trying, and my team is going to keep trying for a W. No worries about that. I just kind of wish it was a little more fun compared to where it used to be, fun-wise. Feel free to hit me with your own day 1 stories in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time.